The most bitter and violent opponents of Reconstruction, and black freedom more generally, emerged at the very start of the era. In late 1865, a small group of men gathered in Pulaski, Tennessee, and organized the Ku Klux Klan. Membership in the group spread by word of mouth across the state and soon throughout the region. Klan members made denying African Americans any legitimate role in the public sphere their principal goal. But the Klan also terrorized white Republicans, especially native white Southerners who cooperated with the party in their efforts to build an interracial democracy in the South. Klan members whipped, beat, burnt, and killed all manner of community leaders throughout the South. They targeted ministers, teachers, political leaders, and successful businessmen or farmers. The high point of Klan-related violence came in response to the Reconstruction Acts and to the prominent role played by African Americans in the reorganization of Southern life between 1868 and 1871. In a few isolated incidences, President Grant sent U.S. troops back into the South to help quell disorder. Interventions such as these exposed Grant to the charge that his administration had failed to secure the peace, which he promised to do in 1868. It also opened Republicans to criticism from fiscal conservatives about the continuing expense of Reconstruction and, more cynically, to those who felt that black Southerners needed to defend themselves from whites or suffer the consequences. White Southerners also mastered the art of spreading misinformation. They convinced many Northerners that black people simply could not be trusted to participate in democracy. Federal courts also increasingly reflected Northern impatience with the duration and expense of Reconstruction and their reluctance to support black Republican plaintiffs. The most important of these cases revolved around the defendants arrested for leading the Colfax Massacre. In United States v. Cruikshank, the Supreme Court ruled that the 14th Amendment only protected citizens against the official state actions and not private violence. Because the massacre's ringleader, William Cruikshank, operated without state sanction, the amendment offered no protection. Cruikshank went free, and in the process, the court dramatically narrowed the scope of protection offered by the 14th Amendment. The Cruikshank case was decided in 1876, the same year that a new Republican won the presidency. Rutherford B. Hayes, a Union general like his predecessor, Ulysses S. Grant, entered office under a storm of controversy. He secured the office after the contested election of 1876, when Republicans and Democrats clashed over the returns from Louisiana, Florida, and South Carolina. Both sides ultimately agreed to count the presidential ballots for Hayes, but gave Democrats control at the state level. This ended the last three Republican state governments in the South and initiated an era of Democratic dominance that lasted for most of the next century. Shortly after his inauguration, Hayes recalled the last few thousand U.S. troops out of the South, officially ending the period of Reconstruction.